Hello. My apologies. I'm 2 minutes late. There's been a lot of storms here tonight, and it's been a bit worrying about whether there be lightning and thunder. Oh my! So, thank you so much for coming along tonight. There are a couple of things that I'd like to go over before we get really started and into the nitty-gritty of everything. Firstly, I have my incredible assistant, Linry, on the call tonight. She is going to assist me with any questions or anything that we need. And also, you might have already met her. She might have spoken to you via Messenger and things like that, not sure. But this is also an interactive webinar. So I'd love for you to let me know who you are, where you're from, and just really message and comment, because I will be speaking with you throughout the evening. I'm just going to have a sip of water. I really want you to get the most out of tonight. So I'm going to start sharing my screen so that you can get the most out of tonight. Here we go. Here we go. Sorry for my slowness. Fantastic. Hi, Andrew. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Thank you kindly. I hope you're okay out there with all of this weather that's going on at the moment. So tonight I will be sharing with you how to release your inner confidence and attract your incredible partner. And essentially, I mean, that's just a title, but ideally, we will be talking. Hi, Matthew. You're from Melbourne. Welcome. Fantastic. Or Victoria, sorry. So I want to share with you some insights around dating, what's going on, the biggest mistakes that singles are making, and actually give you tools around how to transform that. So firstly, I'll just establish this webinar is for you if you are sick of meeting emotionally unavailable people, if you're sick of getting ghosted after a few chats or dates, if you're feeling unhappy and frustrated with the dating scene, if you're worried that you may be running out of time, feeling like they only want something casual, feeling like everyone else gets chosen over you. Any of those points, do they relate? Do they resonate with you? I was them. Before I met Drew, I was always meeting emotionally unavailable people, always feeling unhappy and frustrated with dating. It was, quite devastating. So if that's for you and you're still here, thank you for sticking around. And you will get the most out of this evening by doing the following steps. So the first thing is I need you to really go deep. I need you to be honest and open with yourself. The more honest and open and vulnerable you are, the more you'll get out of it. Engage and participate and play full out. I'd like you to comment, engage with me. Turn off any distractions. So this is you time. I want you to relax, turn your phone on do not disturb so that you can be present for this time together. Ask and answer any questions along the way, and please take notes. Okay. My promise to you tonight is to offer the tools to avoid the wrong relationships and finally attract your dream relationship. Is that what you would like? Is that where you're currently at? So who's feeling any of these? It doesn't have to be all of them, but if you're feeling one or multiple, let me know. Are you feeling doubtful or lonely, unworthy and rejected, anxious or avoidant, single dad, unemployed, non-drinker, and no friends? Red flag to most women. Yeah, okay. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, it's interesting. People label us by our career, and I don't really feel like that is truly important, unless it's circumstantial and you don't want to date someone in the army because of life-threatening things, etc. I think that's personal. All right. So thank you for sharing, Matthew. All tools are valuable. So it's true, you're right. So who wants to feel excited and empowered, loved and accepted, safe and secure? Who would like to feel like that? All right. Because tonight I'm going to take you down some steps to get you to that point. We can't get you fully there yet because this is only just the tip of the iceberg, but we will get you some tools. So we'll be covering what causes our heartbreak cycles. Do you know what your heartbreak cycle might be? Why finding a relationship is challenging these days? The 6 biggest mistakes that all singles are making. Might not be all of them. You might be making one or four, a few of them, but you don't even know this is happening. It's a subconscious thing. What is your inner critic telling you? So we'll be talking about this fear and the negativity cycle. How to attract your dream relationship, which is what we all want. And there is a free gift for you at the end if you stick around. So before we get started, I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you. I promise that you will enjoy this and your time is not wasted. You will leave with actionable steps you can implement ASAP. So I want you to walk away with tools. And you are choosing you tonight. Okay? You are choosing you. All right. So the first thing that I want to go over is the self-worth wheel. And if you'd like me to send you this after the webinar, let me know and just put your email, send me your email. I'm trying to think how I could do that so it's not. I don't know that everyone can see your comments. So let me know if you can see the comments coming up or if it's just something that I can see. Because if it's private, you can comment your email here and I'll email this to you. So this is something that I want you to do because it's going to enable you to really reflect on who you are and where you're at the moment. We often don't take the time out to really think about me, who am I, where am I at? And so this is a self-worth wheel that I've created to reflect really important parts of us when it comes to, okay, they are all obvious at the moment. All right. Thanks, Matthew. So maybe Lenry can email you from our registration emails if you're happy with that, the self-worth wheel. Okay, so reflect on your relationship wheel by going through this. So I want you to rate 1 to 10 where you're at. So if we're looking at me time, are you 1, which is terrible? Are you having me time? Or are you not actually doing stuff for yourself? You're doing something for yourself tonight. So that means you are spending some me time for you. But how often are you doing that? Is it 1 or 10? And anywhere in between. Feel free to comment where you're at as well if you feel like it. Boundary setting. Do you know how to boundary set? And when you boundary set, do you stick to them? Self-compassion. Are you compassionate with yourself? Do you, when you're not feeling well and you have to go to work the next day, do you say, look, I'm sick today, I'm going to actually have a day to rest? Or do you push yourself to the point of burnout? Rate it from 1 to 10. Finances. How are you feeling about your finances at the moment? Do you feel like you're on the right track? Do you feel like it could be better? Rate it from 1 to 10. People pleasing. So people pleasing and boundary setting can sort of detract from one another. So if you're setting your boundaries in a loving, compassionate way, you're not people pleasing. But if you're people pleasing, you're overstepping your boundaries. So people pleasing is the need to fulfill someone else so that we aren't rejected. And so we actually sacrifice and sabotage our own needs in order to please someone else. Inner critic. an inner cheerleader or inner coach, depending on how you'd like to word it. But do you have a daily inner critic, like, I'm not good enough for this, I need to be better at this, I don't look good today, I've got wrinkles, or whatever it might be? 1 to 10, how is that for you out of 10? I was just giving you a little bit of time there to catch up because I felt like I was going a little bit fast. And so your inner cheerleader, so inner coach. So how does your inner coach work for you? Does it come out, or do you suppress it? Do you back yourself? Do you actually compliment yourself and say, I look good today, or I did a great job at that? So self-love and self-compassion are a little bit different, but they are similar in the sense that if you're compassionate to yourself, you're loving yourself. But self-love on a deeper level, which I am going to go over tonight, is gratitude for who you are now. Not wishing you'd look like someone else, not wishing you were, XYZ, really being grateful and appreciative of who you are. Do you love yourself? And then there's physical health. Where are you with that? Do you take care of your health? Are you neglecting certain things? Are you saying, I want to go to the gym, but putting it off? Because without health, there is no wealth. We must feel fit and healthy in order to thrive. And I don't mean wealth just in money sense. I mean wealth as in abundance of life. You can't achieve things when you're not taking care of yourself. How are you with emotional awareness? Are you aware of your emotions? Do you know what triggers you? Do you know what lights you up? Do you know how to navigate emotion when it's heavy? Or do you avoid it? And then the last two, career goals. How are you going with career goals? And that career goals can also be parental goals, because if you're working from home, being a mother or a father, I believe being a parent is a form of a career. It's a life job. And then relationships. Where are you with that out of 10? 1 being terrible, 10 being fantastic. And I'm talking all relationships, but purely I want to hone in tonight on intimate relationships. Okay. If either of you feel like you want to share those, feel free. But we will come back to some of this at the end. So just a little bit about me quickly, because if you've never met me before, I know some of you have, but I am Belinda Love. But is it my real name? No, my real name is Belinda Riger, and not many people can spell or say it. And love is my purpose on this planet. But how it came about was yeah, okay, good, Matthew. Thank you for sharing. And we can work on that. And that's the beauty of it. I don't want you to look at it and go, oh, everything else is low, this is really hard. I want you to look at it like, oh, okay, I know my baseline now. And this is giving me a good opportunity to look at what I want and where I want to be and focus. And it might be a bit overwhelming, like there's a lot to look at. But if we look at it like, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. So I want you to pick your priority area, which is relationships for what I do. Everything else also, how you do one thing in life is how you do all things in life. It's a subconscious pattern that we do. I want you to focus purely, let's look at relationships tonight. But how this came about, how my name Belinda Love came about, was I used to be the MC for Sexpo nationally. And I this is John Savage, my co-host, and they were like, we want the sugar in the spice, and so they called me Belinda Love. So he was the devil and I was the angel, and we made a good duo. So that's how it came to be. You're Belinda Love, and then it stuck, and I loved it. But why do I get to be a love coach? Who are you? Like, what makes me qualified in this area? And I know I've studied a lot, and I will go into that, but my experience in life and what I've been through, for me, far outweighs the education that I've done. So when I was little, I was the chubby kid in school, so I was bullied and ostracized. So I became the cosplayer, excuse me, because I felt like I could be myself. But because I thought nobody liked me as who I was, dressing up as a superhero made me a character, and I could just be who I was without being judged because it was this character I was playing. I was playing the role of Belinda, but as a cosplayer. This is me on a TV show. And then I had some really tumultuous relationships, which I will go into detail: domestic violence, cheating. And then because of all of that, I was seeking external validation. I really wanted to be validated, and I had a sex addiction for 15 years, and I had to really unpack all of that and transform my life so that I could validate myself and love who I am exactly as I am. And the battle has been so interesting, but I lost many battles, but I think I've won the war. So, and this is me on The Bachelor. I don't look like her anymore. She's 34, but I'm 42, so I've aged a little bit. But I went from this girl, living in this scarcity pain place, to an abundant woman, not financially specifically, but abundance in life. So I got to be on The Bachelor. I wrote my own book, Breaking Down the Breakup. I run my own courses, the Love Trust Cycle. I have my podcast. I've emceed Sexpo. I've created my own show. I fell in love with Drewby. I've been on Sunrise, Red Table Talk, Triple M, Daily Mail, The Project, Studio 10. And whilst that's the sort of, the portfolio, excuse me, that I've achieved, none of that would have happened if I didn't break this emotional cycle of the self-hate, the external validation. Although I do feel like going on The Bachelor, I was still healing that self-validation thing, grown a lot from there. And yeah, so that's me. I also now have a regular segment on CFM Weekly. So what changed to take me from this chickie to this one? Lots. So, and the single lonely woman to the self-loving woman to the effective relationship. This is what happened. So I was trying so hard. I was doing all of it. I was doing online dating, blind and speed dating. I avoided dating. I was also abstinent for 18 months. I would have one-night stands, friends with benefits, singles events, courses on how to find love, podcasts and books. I was always listening and researching. And then I even tried The Bachelor to find love. It didn't work for me because I didn't understand the big problem. The big problem was going on dates, expecting to find love, finding out they aren't aligned, causing me to feel lonely and disconnected, and thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so exhausted. I don't want to keep doing this. Can they just show up? But little did I know I was in scarcity. So that's why it wasn't happening. And the reason is because of subconscious beliefs caused by my imprint phases. Do you know what imprint phases are? Has anyone heard about them? I was just waiting for someone to respond. So it's a subconscious belief caused by my imprint phases, resulting in finding misaligned or toxic people. And I will touch on imprint phases tonight. And the solution was to radically transform your situationship so you can finally have your dream relationship. Is that what you guys want? Is that what you would like, to have your dream relationship? Subconscious programming. Close, similar, but different. I think it might be similar, but I will go into it for you in a minute. It's fascinating, so fascinating. So the 6 common mistakes were or are that the singles are making are one of these or all of these. So it's stuck in the subconscious fear of the past. So the fear of what happened is going to happen again, stuck in that fear. Asking friends and family for advice. Blaming your dates and not understanding the mirror effect. Do you know what the mirror effect is? Not knowing your love block or blocks, because you might have more than one. And it sounds really heavy. It's not. It's just you don't know these things. No one's ever told you. It's like when you think about learning how to drive, you go, oh, shit, it's scary and exciting. But then you just get an instructor and they show you and it's easy. And then it becomes second nature. It's the same thing with this. And you don't know what you don't know. You can't just get in a car and drive. You'll have an accident or bunny hop or, it's the same with dating. But we just are expected to know how to have a relationship because we're born into one. But then we don't consider, well, our parents didn't know and their parents didn't know and their parents didn't know. So it's this generational ripple. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result. That's the definition of crazy. And feeling, and that was me. I was doing the same thing over and over. And I was like, well, surely someone's just going to pop up. Feeling anxious or avoidant means you'll attract anxious and avoidant partners. Anxious or avoidant partners. Okay. So tonight, this is my course. This is the 5 steps to genuine connected love. There's 5 pillars. And I'm going to be covering a little bit from a couple of these pillars tonight. Can't do everything, unfortunately. It's a 5-week course. So I'm just picked little bits and pieces out for you. So we're going to look at the first pillar, which is healing the hurt and conquering the heart. And I'm going to talk to you about the heartbreak cycle. So the heartbreak cycle, we're born into love as kids. And then we have our first sort of heartbreak. Okay. No worries, Andrew, but thank you for joining. Then we have this first breakdown and we don't repair it. And then we start to feel empty and we're heartbroken. We think we've repaired it. Time heals all wounds, not. And then I'm sorry, Matthew. That's really hard. Maybe she sent me to you today as a little message for you to say it's time to move on. I know that's hard and heavy for you to hear tonight, but she would want you to be happy. Yeah. There's a grief there that hasn't been. So this is where you're at in the heartbreak cycle. So here, you miss her, you grieve her, and you're not ready to move forward. Yeah. So I have a question for you. By not moving on, what is the impact to you? By not moving on, what is the impact? And by not moving on, what is the benefit? So the heartbreak cycle, then we can stay in this point, and this line blocks us for us to even heal. But if you're here and you're still dating, or here, and you haven't done the work to mend with gold, there's nothing broken. Yeah, stuck in the mud. That's the impact. And then you can't move forward. You're here. So we need to do the work in order to be able to step forward, because it's not serving you to be where you're at now. It's really not. How long ago was that? Okay, so let me discuss what an imprint phase is. So an imprint phase is the situation that has happened to you, creating your internal reality, which in turn impacts our external circumstances. So these happen around the age 5 to 7, 11 to 13. That should be actually 15 to 17, and 18 to 21. And I want you to have a think about some times in your life, and I'll share with you mine, and I will go into a bit more depth. But when I was 6, my parents divorced. When I was 13, I got bullied in school. When I was 16, my boyfriend disappeared, and when I was 20, I was raped. So this developed my imprint phases, and there's two things we decide out of that. So this is my parents, and I will go into those two things before they got divorced. I got the hiccups. Oh, I got the hiccups. Sorry about that. Oh, 2 years, Matthew. Yeah, okay. It's not a long time, but it might be the right time to start moving forward. But it's really hard for me to sort of guide you on that in such a quick conversation. So the event happened, the divorce for me. The meaning I made was that two meanings. So that men were unreliable and I was unlovable. And I needed to understand why relationships break down so that doesn't happen for me. So one of them came true in the sense that I'm a love coach, and the other one came true as well, because I'm about to show you why and how that happened. So this then causes a trigger and then the pattern. So because I believed men were unreliable and I was unlovable, I experienced so much heartbreak. Abandoned love. I walked in on my ex cheating on me with my best friend. I had a sex addiction. I had a domestically violent relationship. And I just didn't feel loved or validated. And I needed to stop expecting everyone else to guide me and help me, and do it myself. And so this is the big problem I'll talk to you about. Renee, she didn't see her worth, and she attracted all the wrong men, leaving her feeling like she would never find love. So she avoided it altogether. She just didn't think it was going to happen for her. And the 6 common mistakes for her, she was the fear of attracting the wrong men. So worry is a manifestation prayer. So what we worry about comes about. What we have in our focus is what manifests. She was asking her friends and family for advice. She blamed all the men and the dating apps. She didn't know her love block or blind spot. It was feeling unworthy. So she felt unworthy of love. So she attracted men that treated her like that. She only changed who she dated, not her approach, and she was anxious, in turn attracting emotionally unavailable men. The results. Renee truly discovered what was in her way, and that she actually wanted a partner, and what she wanted in a partner and how to love herself. So she needed to love herself. She found love for herself, and she fell in love and got engaged, and she is, super, super happy after working with me. She felt doubtful and lonely, unlovable and rejected, anxious and worried, to feeling excited, empowered, loved, accepted, safe, and secure. Because prior to us catching up, she was still on this heartbreak cycle path, constantly, stuck here. Where is it? Here. So let's make a decision tonight. Are you ready to let go of your fears, stop the heartbreak cycle, feel excited about love again, and find your dream relationship? Are you excited? Sorry, my nose is running. Falling apart. Hiccups, runny nose. So how, Matthew, parents divorced same age as you. My mum, compulsive liar. My dad messed up there. Vietnam vet. Lots of women bad examples. Got into drugs, chose wrong women until Belinda and the one before her were pure gold but didn't work out. So that says to me that you can attract good women. Sorry, I don't know why I said men. Yeah, that's good. And they're out there. And you're only limiting yourself by not moving forward. You're not being a horrible person. Okay. You're allowed to have love again. So how do we do it? How do we do it? By transforming your imprint phases, by rewiring the old patterns. Yeah, good. I'm glad you get it. That's good, Matthew. I'm not sure if you like Matt or just Matthew. And I couldn't do it on my own either. Do you know it actually took me 10 years to meet Drew? I made that many mistakes in my life and my relationships. I learned the hard way. But it makes it even better for you guys because I learned the mistakes and now I can educate you on what not to do and what to do. So what happened? I discovered the pattern, but not the solution. So I didn't know how to break the pattern on my own. It had already taken me years to achieve the same things. I'd spent thousands of dollars, stressed out friends and family because I was asking them the same thing over and over. And I attracted the same relationships all the time. I completed over the next 7 years, I studied self-development, counseling, hired a coach, became an life coach, NLP practitioner, sound healer. I lived on the boat and ate 2 meals a day to save money so that I could do all of this. I read books and listened to podcasts. It was like this was going to happen for me. Love was going to happen for me. It was no question about it. I attended seminars and webinars and I spent over $90,000 to achieve this. Lots of money, lots of time, but I'm so glad I did. Oh, so whatever. Yeah, okay, Matt or Matthew, cool. And then I shared what I learned with somebody and it changed her life forever. So do you want to hear it? Linda is probably sick of this story. I talk about it all the time, but it was my turning point. There was a woman at a pub who was with my friends. She was an acquaintance. And we were standing there and they were all talking about how they were sick of men just treating them like meat and just wanting something casual. And I said, I said, do you want love? And she said, yeah, I'm really looking for love. She went away and came back about half an hour later and she said, do you see that guy over there? And I said, yeah. And she said, I'm going to take him home and beep his brains out. And I said, that's good if that's what you want, but it's not in alignment with what your heart truly wants, which is a relationship. And she said, but that's how you find love, isn't it? And I said, no, it's not. It's not. What you put out is what you get back. So make sure you go into it with the right intention. Anyway, she found me on Facebook a couple of weeks later and she said, I never heard from him. I went home with him and I never heard from him. Can you guide me? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And so I guided her and she found love within, I don't know, a month or so. This was 10, 15 years ago now, a long, long time. But she found love through my guidance, which is incredible. So I realized that it's okay to accept help because I don't know what I don't know. I pay a driving instructor to teach me to drive. I pay a dentist to do my teeth. Go to a doctor for guidance on my health. It's okay to ask for help. And so it took me further with it. There wasn't one course out there to get the results. I had to combine multiple and added my own stuff into it. I had already helped transform people's lives. The more I shared, the more people asked me if I ran a course. So I created one, the Love Trust Cycle, 8 years ago. And I've helped many singles and couples ever since. And I love it. I love it. This is my sole purpose on this planet. Because it's one of the 3 pillars in life: career, home, relationship. It's so important. Without love, without connection, this card was actually, without connection, what do we have? It's so important. And so by investing in the right tools, I broke the cycle. I found the love for myself. I feel love despite my relationship status. I healed my sex addiction. I no longer chased men or felt lonely even if I was single. I no longer attracted the toxic relationships, and I'm able to share and transform lives. And I found the man of my dreams. And I wanted to help people all around the world. If I can share what I've learned, if I can guide people so that they don't have to go through what I have been through, or if they have already, help them to heal that so that they can find love, then and break free of that fear in the past, then this is my purpose. So I want to know, what are your fears telling you right now? What are they saying to you? We're talking about relationships specifically. What are they saying to you? Are you scared of heartbreak? Are you scared of rejection? So, whatever those fears, so many men killing themselves and other problems, and we are becoming a minority group and are getting valid. Yeah, okay. They are. Like the suicide rate for men is extremely high compared to women, but I think that's also society's a bit to blame for that, because they taught men to not have emotion, to be strong, even from children. Like if you had a sister and your sister cried, she would probably be nurtured. But if you as the son cried, you'd probably be told, stop crying, suck it up, son. And that's really toxic for anyone. We're all human, regardless of gender or genitals, you know. We all have emotion. We all have feeling. Yeah, I think it's hard to be anyone on the planet. I think women deal with certain things. I think men deal with certain things. But if you focus on it being hard to be a man, you'll never break free of those chains. Like I mentioned earlier, and I will talk about the red car, blue car. But 50% of singles aged 30 to 49 are interested in getting married, and relationships formed online tend to progress faster and are just as strong as those formed organically. So there is hope, Matthew. There is hope. It is challenging to be a man. It is challenging to be a woman. It is challenging to find love, but it also gets to be fun. It also gets to be easy. It also gets to be exciting. We just got to know the way. Getting in a car, like I've been talking about driving this car for all night tonight. I don't know why. But if you get in a car without the tools, it's hard. It's hard to drive. What's this stick here? What's this brake? This pedal do? It's bloody hard. Anything is hard if you don't have the tools. But having the tools makes it easy. Easier. So Shannon was the same as me, actually. She was sick of being hurt, and she was constantly putting herself first and just people-pleasing all the time. And her partner just wouldn't match her on that. They actually wanted polyamory. They kept saying, all the people that she dated kept saying to her, you know, let's be polyamorous. And then she just wasn't getting anything back, and she was actually feeling lonely in love. And so her mistake was the fear of not knowing who to trust. She didn't know who to trust. And her love block or blind spot was feeling unworthy, again, another unworthy. And she felt anxious. So she attracted emotionally unavailable partners. But the beautiful Shannon was able to find love. She worked with me for 5 weeks, and she has found her voice. She's found herself. She met a man, and they've been in a relationship for 900 and something days now. And they've just had a baby, which is incredible. So I want to ask, does this resonate? If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. I've changed it a little, because think what you have always thought. You'll always get what you always think. I've got a typo there. I've got to fix that. Hey, Linry, are you able to remind me about the typos in this so I can fix it? Thank you, my love. So my theory of this is, thank you, lovely. My theory is if you focus on something, that's what will always show up for you. Worry is a manifestation prayer. So if you're focusing on, I think my red card, blue card theory is coming up. I'll go into that. Before I talk about that, let's make a decision. Are you ready to rewire these patterns, discover a new approach, feel excited about love again, and find your dream relationship? Are you excited? If not, what's holding you back? What's holding you back? Some might be these things holding you back. You're tired of feeling lonely. I'm tired of going on time-wasting dates. I'm over being ghosted. Sick of feeling rejected. I'm running out of time. When will it happen? People only want a one-night stand, not a commitment. Are you feeling like that? You have a plan. I'd love to hear your plan. Share with me. And pillar 2, we're going to do a little bit out of pillar 2. This is rediscover you and embrace self-love. And this, I want to go into what self-love is. There's a misconception. It's apparently conceit and vanity and narcissism. But my version of self-love, it's definitely not that at all. Can stick it. Because this is the new version. Regard for one's own well-being and happiness in order to overflow, to live a fulfilled life and serve others better. So when you're in the plane and it's crashing, they always say put your mask on first so you can help everyone else. That is self-love. Taking care of self, appreciating self, being grateful and loving you exactly as you are. Not comparing yourself anymore. And so we're going to go into the self-worth wheel and look at the inner critic and the inner cheerleader. And this is my red car, blue car theory. So if you have an inner critic about relationships, let's say when you go shopping for a red car, what do you see everywhere? You see red cars. When you focus on something, that is what you attract. I've been saying that over and over. If you think that there are no good men out there, that's your red car. So we need to flip it to the blue car. Your blue car is what you want, what you deserve, what you dream to have. I want a loyal, integrous, funny, compassionate man who understands blah, 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 or woman, whatever it might be. Focus on that. I believe love exists for me. I believe there is an incredible partner out there for me. So we need to get rid of this. That's why it's crashed. It's no longer serving you. And how does it work? The David Hawkins map of consciousness. This is incredible. So all emotion has frequency because emotion is energy in motion. And so if you're in scarcity, which is survival, suffering and survival. This looks like shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, and up until the transformational flow. When you're neutral, you then start to accept, reason, love. Love is 500, I think it's actually 528. Joy, peace, enlightenment, authenticity. When you start to become the blue car in your mind about what you want, that's when you come out. This red car is here, blue car is here. Okay? Let's get rid of this. You don't need to be in survival or suffering anymore. And this is what it looks like. Red car, blue car. And this isn't being unrealistic and this is being, I don't even like the word optimistic. It is optimistic, but it's trusting that there is somebody on the planet that will align with you. There's how many people on the planet? Surely there's one. There is one, and you'll find them. But if you continue to sit in this side looking at the doom and gloom, you're never going to get the sunshine and the beautiful views. Who we are and how we are is also a choice. Our mindset can also be a choice, which is another whole conversation. So what is your inner critic telling you about love and relationships? Do you have an inner critic? I'd love to hear. So there are many tools to heal triggers. Reframing, anchoring, journaling, meditation, timeline therapy. But tonight I'm going to touch on reframing, because that's one tool for me that has absolutely changed my life. Okay. Thank you for sharing, Matthew. I was just reading about your beliefs. Yeah. I don't know much about the Mormon church, so I can't comment. But, yeah, thank you for sharing. So this is a video that I would like to share with you. It's just
an event seen from one.
I'd like this to go to full screen. Hang on one second. It's not working. So I'm just going to do this. I'd like you to just watch this video and understand that this is representation of perception, what we see.
An event seen from one point of view gives one impression. Seen from another point of view, it gives quite a different impression. But it's only when you get the whole picture you can fully understand what's going on.
Okay. So what did you...
David?
Oops. What did you make of that? Sometimes we don't have the full picture, and we can make choices based on our past experiences and create a picture that isn't real for the future, if that makes sense. So we need to shift that. And that's by using the past reality mind shift. So I'd like for you to tonight acknowledge a situation of the past, understand the story, feeling, belief you have been living out, and rewrite the story from victim to victor. So you may be thinking, I can do this, but nobody wants a relationship. It's all too hard. I have tried it all before. There are no genuine people out there looking for love. I'm sick of dating and swiping. I'm too old. Nobody wants to date me. There is too much competition. Everyone is happy with casual and no commitment. So what actually came up for you? Comment or just write it down. What came up for you in this process? And what's your challenge? If I could help transform at least this one challenge for your peace of mind, what would it be worth to you? Would it be worth? What would it be worth? Everything? Nothing? It's okay. You don't need the change or the help, the guidance. It's hard to let go because the fear of rejection or heartbreak. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone. But you know what? Comfort zones seem safe, but they're actually very toxic, because if you're looking at something that you want and you want to achieve that, but you're too scared, you're actually impacting yourself more than if you took the risk. Because if you take the risk, at least you know what the outcome is, whereas you'll spend the rest of your life wondering, waiting, upset, depressed, anxious, thinking that you can do it on your own and believing that it will never happen for you, and that you don't have the actual steps to move forward. And this is my last share for the night. Anthony, he had given up on finding love, and he didn't think that he was worthy enough. He'd put his heart on a shelf, and he just kept having false starts, and he was totally against the dating apps. His mistakes were fear of loneliness. He was didn't know his love blind spot was a fear of rejection, and felt anxious attracting emotionally unavailable partners. And the results, after working with me, he said that he finally, I can't speak tonight, I don't know why, finally found that he loved for himself, found peace for all of his fear, and that he learned he was special with someone with lots of love to give and was deserving of it in return. And he did find love after working together. And then the 4 steps to saying yes to the no. This is about rejection handling. Do you doubt your own needs when dating and asking your friends and family for validation? Nutella, this is my favorite theory. I want to give you a little insight into rejection. How many people on the planet, on a percentage basis, do you think love Nutella? 100%? 10%? 50%? I'd love to hear. Because the reason why I ask that is, if you take into account 8 billion people worldwide, if you think of all the people who are allergic to nuts, all of the people who don't support palm oil, people who are savory over sweet, 80%. Matthew, I just want you to know that you don't need to be single to be a parent. I don't want you to be self-sacrificing either, because you never know what woman could come into your life that could actually benefit your daughter as well. So I want you to think more deeply around that, because you deserve happiness. And I see so many parents, even my mum, I share openly, she gave so much to us. She sacrificed everything for herself. And now we grew up, left home, and she feels, I don't agree, she's a young whippersnipper, still gorgeous for her age. She feels she's too old to find love now. It's gone for her. But you can have both. You don't need to sacrifice one for another. And sometimes I don't know if this is the case for you, but I used to say I'm too busy for love. And I used to make that my coping tool. Like that was my protection bubble. Like, I don't have time for a relationship. But in fact, I really wanted love. And that was my cop out. I'm not saying, I know that's an incredible thing to say, You want to take care of your daughter. But I also don't want you to think that it's a good tool because you're grieving Belinda. Because you get to have love, you get to be a good dad and a partner. You don't need to sacrifice one for another. But my point was with Nutella is only 4.5% of it is sold globally. And how many shelves of it are in Woolies? It's 5 shelves. And there are rip-off versions of it. But Nutella never changes its flavor to please anyone else on the planet. It just knows its audience. It sells like hotcakes. It's loved by many and not by all, and that's perfectly okay. So what I want you to know is you're Nutella. Stop trying to change yourself for everyone else. And please, everyone, when it's quality over quantity. You'll never have to change who you are. You might have to adapt a few things and compromise and meet in the middle, but you'll never have to change who you are at the core for somebody to like you, especially if it's sacrificing. So rejection is simply a redirection. You didn't see what wasn't right, so the universe stepped in and is guiding you on the right path. Are you ready to go from heart empty, feeling lonely, heartbroken, to loved up? So I'd like to know before I wrap up tonight, what will make the biggest impact in your life? What would you like to hear and how can it work? And would you like to hear how it can work for you? So, and if all this did was enable you to see your worth, have clarity of mind, remove your limiting beliefs holding you back from finding love, improve your relationships with your existing friends and family, give you the confidence to find love, remove residual heartbreak, allow you to find your dream relationship and love your imperfections. If working together did that for you, would it be worth it? So I want you to feel excited and empowered, loved and accepted, safe and secure. I want to shift you out of this space into this. You don't need to be here anymore. Let's get rid of it. So if you would like, you can, this is the free gift for staying. If you would like to, wonderful, have a 15-minute conversation, a love life conversation with me, where I can guide you. I turned that off. That's interesting. I can guide. I turned my iPad off and now it's beeping at me. Ooh, maybe it's a sign. It's a sign. Book it in. Just scan that QR code if you can. And you can select a time where we can have a chat, 15 to 20 minutes. And I talk to you about something about your love life that you want to discuss, specific topic, and I give you some guidance. Did you scan it? Let me know. Or screenshot it if you're on the phone. You might be able to scan it somehow. I think you can tap on it and the link takes you there. So yeah, that's where we're at the moment. Great. Thanks, Matthew. So no more repeating the same heartbreak cycle and hoping to find love whilst feeling lonely and frustrated. Are you ready to find the love you were dreaming of? And Matthew, you can have it in this life and in the next life. You don't need to sacrifice again. Okay? You shouldn't have to be lonely in this lifetime. This is my opinion. I don't know the Mormon beliefs, but I believe you shouldn't have to be on your own in this lifetime on this planet because you're moving to the next one and to reunite with Belinda. I feel you should be allowed to have both. Great. Fantastic. Okay. So that's everything for tonight. I'm going to stop sharing. I have been honored that you have spent this time with me this evening, and I truly hope that you got something out of it. It's been an absolute honor, I'm going to log off. And yeah, if you're watching this on the replay, you please send me a message if you would like a chat as well. I would love to offer that to you as well. Okay, I'm Belinda Love, and I've been so honored to have you. Thank you so very, very much for being here. And I'll see you soon, and I'll see you in that chat, Matt. That rhymed. Bye, everyone. Bye.